Okay. Alright, YouTube. You did not get to see me doing a little bit of exploring, fighting some big monsters, and catching up on some side quests. Because I did that this morning for the morning stream, and I was in the floor there. I also talked to everybody, and I did some work on the bow. It's now better, with a lot better materials. We have a full set of armor. People have their level 3. She had a very emotional built trauma. You still look sad. Okay. Let's go to the Bastion. We're gonna run to the keep. We are a runner. Yes. Oh. Oh, I hate everything. Thank you for the rise, Salt. Ow. I'm looking probably for... Special nook. Actually, I think I just need to get up there. Right. I could have just come from in here.
Should be a drop somewhere around here. Another notice. Drops must be completed and all runners to safety before the next predicted flood.
This confirms they have a way to predict the floods, and some way to stay safe.
Let's stay focused on our runners for now.
Through here. Down here. And then we're gonna go Upper Dunevron. Go. I need to get to... I think it's Hollowpire? Oh, cool. We've gone from blistering cold to scorching heat. I don't know what this did, but it did something.
Should be a drop somewhere around here.
Ooh! Ooh, Hearthguard Arcplane.
Let's see. Supplies. That's good. More orders. Huh.
What's up?
Drops will be assigned to specific teams and tracked individually to deal with recent concerns.
That's boss talk for we're watching you because someone had their hand in the cookie jar. That's all of them.
3 supply drops. Not a lot of answers.
I believe I can help with that.
what we got? Pictures always delicate balance. Odds of discovery, intensity of encryptions. Our runners apparently recognize the odds of discovery were low and having to pass messages out in the field, often for a reasonably simple rotational cipher. Perhaps it was one they learned as children and repurposed to communicate in a way the Enclave leadership wouldn't find out. While the notes used considerable shorthand taken together, they make it clear that not all is well with the Hearthsiders. Suspicions were running high, and supply acquisitions seem to have become steadily more dangerous over time.
Yes, and if the R is with the numbers of false increment that just indicates spaces. Ah!
Got it?
Yes. I'll translate all that we have and we can discuss it with Casmin.
Good stuff, Lane. We need all the information we can get.
And valuable insight into post-surge society that developed here.
And we've got a nice little bit of Codex on the Archons. Which, as much as I'd like for you to read all this, I'm going to say no. It's a lot of reading, and I can barely get through a paragraph.
Well, Codebreakers, how are we feeling?
Satisfied. We have enjoyed reasonable success. That's Lane's way of saying they crushed it. Notes being passed between a brother and sister, quite candid, and dissatisfied. In particular with their boss, who they refer to as the Grumple. The Grumple? A Renlund myth, where ill-behaved children would be gathered up in a sack and tossed into the river to drown at the end of the year.
Bye.
The Grumple, yes. Renlund fables prominently feature drowning as a punishment for children. The myth has fallen out of favor in recent decades, though. Ren society is less forgiving of flights of fancy. The Grumple. Really? Really.
Moving swiftly on. What else did the drop say?
Remember that ominous note about tracking individually in specific teams? From the context provided by our hauler, we now know a significant number of Hearthsiders survived the surge. But only just surviving. They relied on the runner-hauler teams. But supplies consistently went missing. There is also a sense that the Enclave was getting increasingly dangerous for the Scouts.
The floods, of course.
With supplies running thin, the supply teams were falling under suspicion of stealing. This pair responded with the entirely reasonable, if exhausting, plan of overperforming. I've done that job, Lane. Sometimes you just need to prove the ass in charge wrong. Indeed. They collected a cache of rare items they were planning to turn in when they felt its size and value would erase any suspicion.
Do we know if they turned it in?
No, but we know what it was. Or is.
And that's where I come in.
Time for a supply run. For a large cache below the Tattered Mantle in Lower Denevron. Ooh. Tattered Mantle is over there. We get to run around a bunch. There will be killing at some point of large animals. Maybe. In-game. Ow.
The Tattered Mantle. I've heard so many stories of this tavern. Always rowdy.
Guess I found it. Let's see. Okay. Confirming there is a way down there. Just where? Ooh. Ow. Right here. If I had to guess. Hey, bye.
There's just so much. Oh, and a letter. Encoded like the others.
Can't wait to work it out.
Okay. That was a nice chunk of resources.
So, the letter. I'm prepared for bad news.
How did you know?
They were collecting supplies for other survivors. We know someone is out there. The supplies never made it to them. That, and the tear stains.
Is that what that was? Yes, well, there's a lot to cover. We have the cache itself and our scrounging siblings. We should at least give you the high-level details on both. Where do you want to start?
What did the final note say?
Yes, right. It was a farewell. One sibling disappeared. The runner.
I thought the runner of the pair was the one we found.
So did we. But this last message was a farewell to his sister. Apparently the Grumpole...
Really?
I know. But apparently their boss had been ordered to stop wasting resources on the search. And so our hauler left this farewell, hoping his sister might find it on the off chance she was alive. He was going to remove all their other messages so their plan wouldn't be found out. We postulate he was on his way to do that when...
When the flood caught him.
These people, however many are left, they've really been through it. They might really need our help. They're still organized and have a command structure, but it sounds dysfunctional.
I'm not going to say the name, but do we have any sense of who was giving their orders?
The Enclave's leader was called the Eye, a first of firsts, after a fashion. Elected from the masters of each craft, the High Smith, High Enchanter, and so on. Unfortunately, we don't have any details about their direct superior. I will spare you the name.
Did we confirm they weren't actually stealing from the Enclave?
The letter seems genuine. I think their plan was to bring in a big haul. It says a lot about the Hearthsiders that our siblings thought this would clear any suspicion.
How so?
The cloud of suspicion tells us they were in dire times, tightening the screws on their own people. But bring in a big load and we trust you. Doesn't that sound a little like a bribe?
So you think our runners were dirty?
No. I think the system's dirty, and they're just stuck working through it.
Is there anything we could do, do you think?
Sadly, no. But their story will live on in our chronicle.
Let's move on to something else.
Of course.
Talk to me about the supplies.
They did astonishing work. If I weren't sure they're both gone, I'd hire them. Indeed, a robust collection, including several enchanted objects we barely recognize. They had a keen eye for things that could decay and took care to preserve them.
You two sound giddy.
If there's one thing Lane and I are passionate about, it's preservation of rare objects.
Have you been working your magic, Casmin?
Obviously. Thank you for bringing everything back so carefully.
Anything of note?
yes, but let's save that until we've done the other questions.
Mysterious. Were there any hints of more of these?
As far as we can tell, this was it.
Their motherlode.
It's impressive one runner could gather this much, frankly.
That's enough about the cache.
Sure.
So, where do we go from here?
Good news. We compared notes with Dom. We found parts that will let us complete Lucia's thimble from those schematics you decoded.
It has been a busy time. Solo will handle the assembly, of course.
I suppose the only other thing to say is, good job, Bryn.
Indeed. We have made progress in unraveling the shape of what the post-Surge society looks like in the Enclave. Further, these documents are invaluable to the historical record.
And maybe you put a couple souls to rest. Not to be sentimental.
All right. Let's go over everything we know so far.
We know that, for a time after the Surge, civilians continued to live in Tenebron until they were forced to evacuate the city. We're still not sure the cause.
Wherever the Hearthsiders went, they're still actively sending scouting groups to scavenge for supplies. From the uniform, the Creeper who was watching Bryn sleep belongs to one of these groups.
We also know that a defensive procedure codenamed Asylum sealed access to the Enclave underground. This was done using a barrier almost exactly like the Veil.
Lucia, an ex-High Enchantress, opposed Asylum and began working on ways to sabotage it.
Her research forecasted that the barrier would cause the Enclave to flood with miasma. The very same flood that seems to have killed Lucia before she was able to finish her thimble.
But we have her design. It could disrupt Asylum's barrier.
So Lucia's thimble is the key to our survival.
It's less a key and more like a magical battering ram.
Whatever works.
What is it, Lane?
It's just... I've pored over all the documents we've compiled, and a concrete link between the evacuation plan and the underground is nowhere to be found. I can't shake the feeling we're missing something.
It is odd that we haven't found a single clear link. The Hearthsiders may not have gone underground. But even so, Lucia's research on the barrier causing the flood is solid. And if we want to live, we need to act on that.
I suppose that's true.
Being a weaver isn't about being certain all the time. It's about taking calculated risks to carve a path forward. And regardless of the Hearthsiders' location, disrupting the barrier is the only option to stop the flood.
You're right. I just hope that if we did miss something, it doesn't come back to bite us.
Even if it does, we will handle it.
That settles it. Bryn, it's time to use the thimble.
Okay. I just need refined Serenite. A refined Serenite. Okay, and everybody wants to talk. Except you.
Our supply runners might be why there are so many crates gathered around the city.
Why do they reappear, though?
Dom and I have a theory. The arcs might still be partially functioning.
So, when they're not trying to kill me, they tidy up the place?
Like I said, a theory. But that was a big part of what they were built to do.
Hey, level 4s are available.
You know, there's one silver lining to the sad tale of our deceased runners.
What's that?
We know the Hearthsiders still have some advanced production capabilities. The materials they were gathering don't have much use for basic survival. Therefore, weapons, armor, and enchantments.
Any concerns about us claiming them?
None. They've been there long enough. Scavenger etiquette applies. These kinds of materials are too rare to let go to waste.
The Half-Siders are scavenging their own city. Things must be dire.
I'm worried about them after that particular discovery.
You've a kind heart, Bryn. Though I'll stick to worrying about us, if you don't mind.
That's fair.
A shame to lose such prodigious runners. They were really very good.
The Hearthsiders have had it harder than any of us expected.
Indeed. We shan't let their efforts go to waste. Lucia's thimble is within our reach thanks to them.
Have you ever wondered why the Veil is, well, called the Veil?
No. I don't think I've ever thought about it.
Obviously, nobody outside the Enclave knew that it was going to appear, so when the surge hit, everyone near the Veil was essentially vaporized. The first travelers to witness it all said the same thing, that it looked like a mourning veil, with tangles gathering around its base. A simple description, but quite evocative, wouldn't you say?
And that's where the name for tangles came from too, I'm guessing.
Correct. Their existence had been theorized previously, but they required massive amounts of raw magic to form, non-existent in the wild. Until the Surge, of course.
I'll try and keep clear of them. Thanks for the history lesson.
Anytime.
Very fascinating.
Zola, Lane, what are you reading?
A Book Boundless. It's a pastoral, though a rare post-Surge work that incorporates light references to magic.
Drake scale. Jeebus. I need to figure out where some refined Serenite is. Raw magic, identifications, weavers, Drake. 8 more to reveal. 8 more to reveal. 8 more to reveal. I don't think I could explore more of that location, so we're gonna go into Upper. We're gonna go Riverside. Let's see what we can find. It's at least 2 of those locations. Probably gonna be lower, if I had to guess. Rather than Upper. There's Serenite. But I need refined Serenite. Oh. I see.
That hold on.
Yeah, I figured. How would one get over there? Oh, you're solid.
Hold on.
Ow. Try not to get distracted. Okay. Excuse me. Why, thank you. Hello. This is back the way I came. Gotcha. flee. Please hide. Ah. That's why I'm still in combat. Bone. Not there. Okay. 1 second. Button! And we back. I have done research.
Clover's Gate was the end of the Strand Road. Led through Forbridge and beyond the Vale.
And I'm an idiot. However, I am a reasonable idiot. Okay, excuse you. Nobody invited you. Go over there. I'm the idiot here, okay? Okay. Let's go Spire. Believe it or not, we've walked past it. We've seen it. We've touched it multiple times. I used it as a weapon. It hasn't respawned. Sad. I'm like trying all the locations. I know where the rock is and I can't find the freaking rock.
Statue kind of looks like you, Aurea. Could it be
My mother, Shireen. I knew she was a celebrated weaver before the Surge, but this...
Your mother has a statue here.
I suppose she does.
Huh. I see one. Okay. Pay no attention to me. No, I only got 2 out of the 3 that I'm needing because the third one fucking dropped. It's okay, we got... You get warm and get hot. You. Please die. Okay. We're good. Before we do that, Frost Sword and Shield. And we even got Trapper Crown. And right. Oh. Yes. No. Yes.
If that doesn't keep you safe, I don't know what will. Thank you for your help with that, Bryn. You've a deft hand for flame magic. You can wear Sev's apprentice hat for one day. Also, Lucia knew what she was doing. This thimble was clearly designed to pair seamlessly with Enclave constructions.
Must be her experience as a high enchantress at work.
Based on Lucia's notes and what we discovered at the Bastion, this was custom designed to disrupt Asylum's barrier.
If it can stop the flood, we need to use it soon.
Agreed. We don't know how much time we have left.
We always do a safety save. Let's go see what this is about. Do-do-do-do.
That console that looks like our scry should be the controls for the barrier. The thimble was built to interface with it.
Time to disrupt Asylum.
Oh.
Great timing. I owe you one.
You need to come with me. All of you.
We mustn't cause a panic.
Sure. It's not like we had a dire supply shortage on our hands before this happened.
What do I tell the High Enchanter? The Guild will want...
Enough. We won't discuss this further. Not in front of our guests. Identify yourselves.
Aurea Harpene, or Silverbeak, as I'm known among Weaver circles. This is my band, and beside me is our acting point.
Bryn. And you are?
Khan Stanild, Eye of the Enclave. My colleagues are the Spindle and the Axle, representatives of the Enchanting and Crafting guilds. Who sent you?
Sent us?
Taza? Renland? Udea? The Enclave is the envy of the Maida for its magical prowess. Clearly one of those nations has finally grown a spine and decided to take it for themselves in our moment of weakness.
Moment. No one sent us. We came here by accident.
What kind of fool do you take me for? You expect me to believe that you bypassed our veil, infiltrated our loom gates, and breached Asylum without a national power backing you?
When you put it that way.
This is a misunderstanding. We're Weavers, like you. There was a brief opportunity to enter the Enclave for the first time in decades, and we took it. Everything we've done since we arrived has been to uncover what happened here after the Surge, and to find you.
If that is true, have you really no inkling of the trouble you've caused?
No.
Your reckless conduct has unleashed an enemy that nearly destroyed us 27 years ago.
The Surgeborn. They first appeared a little over a decade after the Veil went up.
Where did they come from?
No one knows. But they arrived in the Underworks before making their way to the surface.
Where they left a trail of destruction in their wake and wreaked havoc on the Enclave.
Causing casualties to rise.
And so I called for a retreat here, saving countless lives. We sealed the Surgeborn in the Underworks for good. Until now.
We've been here a little while now. Don't you think all of this could have been avoided if you'd properly said hello?
She's right.
This is hardly our fault.
Look, Surgeborn or not, we had no choice but to remove the barrier. Though I suppose we owe you thanks for warning us about the floods.
Who warned you?
You did.
Did we? I'll deal with you later.
While we can agree Arakim breached no-contact protocol, it has proven to be the right decision. The floods were growing worse, and now they have stopped. Even if fixing them has introduced a new problem.
One my band would be more than happy to help you solve.
Ha! Work together!
Sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned your last name earlier. Any relation to Shireen Harpene?
She was my mother. You know who she is?
Of course! I mean, before my time, obviously. But she's still renowned in the Enchanting Guild. Her work is remarkable. There's a statue of her in Denevron, you know?
Oh. I can't believe she didn't mention that.
There is so much I'd love to ask you, but for now, Aurea comes from a long bloodline of outstanding and renowned weavers. Shouldn't that buy her band some grace?
All right. Your presence in the outskirts will be tolerated. Nothing more.
What about the Surgeborn?
What about them?
Shouldn't we work together to deal with them?
We could use the help.
The Surgeborn are a problem for anyone in the outskirts, not us. Cassidon's Hold is a fortress.
The scouts do head into the outskirts to scavenge for supplies.
We'll take our own precautions. Speaking of, we have pressing matters to attend to.
But...
Enough! My word is final.
Bryn, the one that led us here is clearly the one that warned us. Try to talk to him before we leave. Maybe he's willing to work with us.
Will do.
I'll never figure this out. If only she were here.
Okay. The spindle. Organize chaos, the axle. Grab as much as we can, the eye.
Hey, Arakim, was it?
Oh, just call me Arik.
Well, Arik, I never got a chance to thank you. You know, for grabbing me before I fell to my death.
I think you had it. Besides, I couldn't let you plummet into a chasm. The Eye is pretty peeved with me, but hey, that's just a bonus.
So you're not upset that I breached Asylum, like your colleagues?
I've been pushing to do something about the Surgeborn for years now. Setting them free wasn't great, but sealing them in the underworks indefinitely was never a good solution. Frankly, I think Khan Stanild is just annoyed you undid his one claim to fame. I guarantee he has no plans to do anything about the Surgeborn now that they're free.
You don't think he sees them as a threat?
He's got his head in the sand about a lot of things.
So, are you glad we're here?
I'm thrilled you're here.
I have to say, I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for all that cloak and dagger stuff earlier. Khan Stanild had me on strict orders not to make contact with your Weaver band. But it was the right call. From what I just saw, your presence here is having an impact.
How so?
Notice how the Axle took my side against the Eye earlier. That never happens. And the Spindle is as quiet as a mouse most of the time, but not today.
Uh-huh. So these are big changes.
It might not sound like much, but they're excited you're here. Stanild can tell too. That's why he backed down so easily. And that's why I'm glad you're here.
You and the Eye don't seem to get along very well.
What gave it away? The mutual contempt. The Eye doesn't like anyone who shows initiative or challenges him. Unfortunately, those are my main qualities. And I suspect he perceives them in you, too.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression he's my biggest fan. Will you be in trouble for saving us?
I'd worry if he ever decided to get off his throne and do something about it. But he finds that throne very comfortable.
You seem awfully trusting of us, considering the terrible first impression we've made.
I was spying on you the first time we met, so let's call it even.
Sure. Maybe you know everything already then, but have you got any questions for me?
Just one. Why are you here?
Decades of war across the Maida followed after the Surge. Magic and Weavers were blamed for all of it. Without the Enclave as a stabilizing force, it's as if the world outside has splintered into factions, divided by chaos and fear. Not to mention the lands surrounding the Veil are completely shrouded in tangles.
Why am I not Khorne?
I'm here to bring down the Veil, and play a small part in restoring the Maida Basin to what it was before the Surge.
Wow, that's a big picture vision if I ever heard one. If that's truly what you want, then dealing with the Surgeborn is the first step. Ever since the Veil went up, our people have been in crisis. They've spent so long in it, they're afraid to do what it takes to get out. It doesn't help that some have benefited off that same crisis.
Who?
Who always benefits? The very top. Our leaders are too preoccupied with their own concerns to form a unified front against the Surgeborn.
Such as?
The Spindle is obsessed with getting the Arcs functional again. She believes that will help us regain control. And the Axle is too stressed about our supply shortage right now. But, if their concerns were handled, they could pressure the Eye to finally address the Surgeborn.
That sounds like an opportunity. And are you a representative yourself? Do you have sway?
Representative, yes. Sway? No. I represent the Scouts, meaning I'm at the meetings, but I don't have the title to back me up. The Scouts were once points like you, but our role has changed since the Veil went up. We were effectively drafted into scavenging for food and supplies. It made sense following the Surge, but it's been years. Recently, we've even been separated from Kassadin's hold and the remaining civilians. Anyway, it's the guild leaders who will need to pressure Khan Stanild into dealing with the Surgeborn, which is what needs to happen before we can even think about tackling the Veil.
Sounds like I've got some palms to grease.
Yuck. But yes, I'll come by your camp later. We'll be able to speak more freely there.
Okie dokie, Knuckles. Enjoy the slip.
What is that about?
The Eye isn't one for idle chit-chat. That's worth watching.
Talk to you back at our camp.
You got it.
Sev, you all right?
No. I mean, yes. I'm fine.
You sure?
Rin, the rest of us are heading out. See you back at camp.
I got to go.
Okay. Yeah, we are definitely activated. Okay, cool. That's already activated. Good, good. Before we do that, we need to talk.
Before Asylum, all the loom gates were reset so that the Surgeborn couldn't use them to continue spreading. How did you reconnect to the city?
We tracked down a key swatch to Denevron. Found it in the mayor's home in Poldervale.
Your band is quite resourceful.
Dom loves discussing magical theory. He would be thrilled to speak with the Enclave's leading enchantress.
That is tempting. But the Eye wouldn't be pleased if he caught me speaking to your band any more than I have to. No offense, but I should really get back to work.
Excuse me, but Arakim mentioned you're the Spindle, a leading representative for the High Arcanists.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
We wanted to formally introduce ourselves. I'm Aurea, as you know. This is Darm, our enchanter, and Bryn, our acting point.
We didn't catch your name earlier. Khan?
Just call me Isla. Is there something I can help you with?
We'd actually like to help you. Apparently you want to restore the Arks.
Shh! Not so loud. Sorry, that sounds wonderful, but the Eye won't be happy about us collaborating.
Come on. You must know better than anyone how integral the Arks are to the Enclave. Why let the Eye's political games stand in the way?
I do know that. I mean, and I don't. I do want to fix the Arks more than anything. I just need you to be quiet about it.
Okay. We'll try, but forgive us if our excitement bubbles over and we forget.
It's Darm. He's the one that might forget.
We know that the Arks began malfunctioning after the surge. A select few were even sabotaged. Any idea on what caused the other malfunctions?
Some theories, but nothing solid. Anyone who knew how to create Arks, let alone fix them, died before I was born. I've tinkered with an inactive Ark that's lying near the Grand Gate, but it would make a world of difference if I could study a resonance that was freshly harvested from a great Ark's pattern.
Consider it done.
Bryn's got you covered. She has a knack for harvesting great Archons.
You'll have it in no time.
If you're sure, I certainly would appreciate it. With discretion.
Right.
We've been talking a while. You'd better go.
Yes. Interesting. Alright, let's talk to you. I don't want to.
So, you.
Me?
The one causing trouble. The one poking into corners. The one who hasn't the good sense to leave well enough alone.
Had you allowed Arakim to reach out to us sooner, this could have been avoided.
Arakim has a proven record of poor judgment on matters of protocol. I will not be lectured by the person who put us all at risk on how best to handle our security. But I'm being impolite. Let us start afresh, shall we? Please, share what you hope to accomplish by loitering around the hold.
Weavers outside the Veil have been hoping the Enclave would be a bastion of lost arts. And it's clear that's not the case. Still, there is history and expertise to be found here. Even if it takes our band ages to piece it together, it's worth restoring.
I shudder to think we have disappointed the cart pullers out there selling our collective skills like mercenaries. Perhaps they could write us a sternly worded letter. Still, your point is well made. Much was lost in the surge and very little has been recovered. Though I look forward to seeing what knowledge outsiders can recover that the Enclave's leading enchanters cannot.
Like it or not, I'm here to help.
The Enclave stands on a blade's edge. Stretch our resources too thin on risky ventures and we face collapse. Certain elements of our population call for action, for bold purpose. And I ask you, what purpose is bolder than survival?
Well,
purely rhetorical. We must survive, and we must make considered, careful moves if we are to do so. There is no sacrifice too great towards that goal. You, at least, understand the precarity of our situation. Now understand the necessity of our caution.
I do, but...
Thank you for your time.
But...
You...
Oh, I hate him.
Need I remind you that your access to Cassidon's hold is restricted?
Oh. I didn't mean to intrude.
You would do well to mind yourself, Newcomer, or risk losing the privilege of coming to Cassidon's hold entirely.
Wait. What a big baby.
I am simply telling you, as the foremost leader of the Enclave, that I don't want you getting distracted.
Can you clarify what you mean by that?
You know exactly what I mean. Eyes down, know your place. Focus on your own problems. Organize your little craftspeople. Keep the wheels of civilized society greased. And don't dare to presume you know better than me.
If you have a problem with my performance, you are welcome to gather feedback from the people who elected me. They may have a clearer understanding of what I bring to the table.
We'll continue this conversation later.
Hirun, Khan Atme. Allow me to formally introduce you to Bryn, the Weaver Band's point.
You're the Axel, right? Arakim says you're a good person to know.
I am. My given name is Hirun, as Arakim said, but you may refer to me as Khan Atme. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, despite the circumstances. And I wish they were better circumstances. The new Surgeborn threat requires us to realign our priorities. Some are a little slower on that than others.
If there's anything we can do to move things along, I'm at your disposal.
What about the supply shortage? I've seen her in combat. She's better than any of us.
What's her help look like? I'd prefer if she could avoid unleashing another apocalypse on us.
We didn't bring a lot with us, but if there's anything we can provide to you, our quartermaster, Casmin, will be happy to help. A decade working the maiden shipping lanes turned her hard as Khansteel.
She sounds lovely. But unfortunately, we're supplying 10,000 people, not 7 weavers and their pack beast. And I doubt you'd have enough on your caravan to make much of a difference. Fortunately, there's a silver lining to your Surgeborn mess that could solve the problem.
Count me in.
Right. With the Surgeborn unleashed, we're anticipating casualties and damage to our facilities. However, there's a restricted area in the underworks that we lost access to decades ago when the Eye sealed it. The Institute. An arcane laboratory where the Enclave conducted its enchantment research, among other projects. Inside the Institute lies a significant supply cache. Its contents will be enough to keep us going, for the time being. If the notes the previous Axel left me are accurate, though, there's an additional complication.
Of course.
The Surgeborn secure territory by building structures, akin to insect hives. The Institute is likely overrun with them, and has been for 20-odd years.
So, the Surgeborn are a long-standing threat to the Enclave.
I wish I were old enough to remember what it was like to live without the fear of the Surgeborn. As a child, I sat awake every night worrying about them. They were terrifying. Knowing what I know now, I should have been even more scared.
I'm sorry you went through that. It must have been horrible.
Thank you.
All the more reason to actually do something about the problem, instead of spending our lives cowering behind the walls of our glorious fortress.
You'll hear no disagreement from me, now that the game board has been upended.
Sounds like I need to clear any Surgeborn hives from the Institute, then.
That'll thin them out enough that my scouts will be able to access the supply cache without much trouble.
Now that Asylum is lifted, we should be able to access the loom gates in the Institute again. I'm going to trust you with this key swatch. It's been gathering dust for over 25 years.
Only the Eye would let such a crucial resource sit there for that long.
Yes. If we're clear on everything, I'll get back to work. My list of obligations grows by the minute. Someone has to keep this goddamn fortress running.
Woo!
Let's talk.
Okay. The Institute. The heart of innovation known as the Institute is now accessible via the Loop Gate. That's nice and all, but we're gonna go back here. Ooh. Dialogue.
So, Warrior, what do you make of the Enclave Council?
Their living history. What they've seen, what knowledge they must have preserved. All this time, they've been here, holding down the fort. It's great you've offered to help the Axle and the Spindle. Just be careful you're not going over the Eye's head.
Honestly, I've seen his type before, and I don't trust him. He's slippery. We need to
respect the leader of the territory we're in, Bryn. He's led the Enclave during a crisis. The rules change. He knows more about the Surge, the Enclave, and arguably even magic. Because while we've been outcasts, he's been here, at the heart of our culture. It's something we need to respect.
I'll try.
Good.
So... interdiction. Companions. Wood for the trees. Okay.
This is a little out of the ordinary, but the Spindle gave me a key swatch. Or rather, she dropped off a letter with one enclosed on my desk in the camp. No one saw her come in or out.
Why not just hand us the key swatch at Cassidon's hold?
According to her letter, what she's asking us to investigate is highly confidential.
So, chances she was authorized to give us this key swatch are...
slim to none.
Where does it lead?
Starlight Cape. An island outpost that was abandoned following the Surge. Strange sightings were reported from the mainland. However, the Hearthsiders couldn't afford to send scouts.
That's why the Spindle thought of us.
We are notorious for probing arcane mysteries.
Why was Starlight Cape abandoned?
Winds are always stronger on the coast, and the dramatic weather following the Surge made the island inhospitable. Its military personnel were redeployed as civilian relief. And though at one time a bridge connected the island to the mainland, it was destroyed in the earthquakes.
So it's only accessible by Loomgate. What kind of sightings are we talking about?
Apparently, the island's defining feature is an observatory at the top of its mountain. Over the years, several scouts had reported moving lights over the peak.
So, what do we know about Starlight Cape?
Not much. It's a small island to the Enclave's northeast, just inside the Vale. It was fortified to watch the sea lanes, though not as heavily as Cassidon's. The rocky shore was a natural barrier to landing. Though I do recall the smith in my mother's band telling me that he'd never seen a clearer night sky than at Starlight Cape. These small islands rarely have much lamplight due to the fact that so few people live on them.
Huh. Happy to check it out.
Good. Here's the key swatch.
Hey, you all right?
Yes. There's something I should have told you, so I'll just come out and say it. I was born in the Enclave.
How is that possible?
Oh, luck or tragedy, depending on your perspective. Before I was born, my mother and father lived here happily for several years. But they decided it would be better if my mother raised me with my grandmother and great aunts for the first few months of my life. So she left with me when I was just a hatchling, with every intention to return.
But the surge happened.
The life I should have had was lost for good. Because of all this, I never knew my father. I don't even know his name.
This is definitely a twist. I feel like you could have told me sooner.
I am sorry for that. You need to be able to trust me.
So why hide it?
Talking about difficult and private matters is not my strong suit. And frankly, I rarely see the point in dwelling on the past.
Does your family have something to do with your attachment to the Enclave?
Being here has meant a lot in some ways, and in others, it's very different from what I expected. Meeting the Hearthsiders was a lifelong dream. But the circumstances of our encounter? Not what I'd envisioned.
Knowing now that this is your birthplace, I can see why that would be disheartening.
This was meant to be my home, after all.
Isn't it a little strange your mother never told you his name?
She was separated from him so suddenly. She had no chance to say goodbye. My mother's a strong woman, but whenever I asked about him as a child, she could only manage a few words before her face would crumble. She found it too painful to discuss, and I never wanted to pry.
But now?
I can't help but wish I knew who he was.
Is it common for Oberon hatchlings to be raised apart from their fathers?
No, but it is common for extended family to be involved in the raising of children. As you know, I come from a long line of weavers, many of whom traveled in caravans their entire lives. It was apparently quite a shock when my mother fell for a Hearthsider.
So your parents were looking for a compromise when it came to raising you?
Exactly. And I wouldn't trade my childhood on the road. My great-aunts and my grandmother made me who I am, after all.
Still, you missed out on your father. It's natural to wonder about him.
I suppose.
So, we're going to find out who your father was.
You would help me?
Of course. Maybe Lane would have some ideas on where to start.
Actually, I had an idea myself. The spindle mentioned a statue of my mother. It's clear the Enclave commemorated their champions. I can't shake this feeling my father is among them.
You think there's a statue of your father?
I know it sounds strange, but the handful of times that my mother spoke of him, she described him as this great hero. Since she was one herself, is it so crazy to think she might have meant that literally?
Maybe not. I can scope out the statues in Upper Denevron for a resemblance, if that's what you want.
Good. And thank you.
It's my pick for book club. I can't decide between a love story about a studious Ram and an Oberon warrior that couldn't be more opposite. Or a treatise on Tazan governance prior to the Surge.
The
Hearthsiders look more traumatized than a beast of burden after a hurricane.
What? Why would you say that?
I would think someone who grew up in the wake of war would recognize the signs. Disorganized and unable to triage their own problems. They're overwhelmed. Suspicious of us despite our clear good intentions, suggesting paranoia. And while their leader is in deep denial of the very real crisis the Enclave is in, the others accept it. They've been stewing in turmoil for so long, it's become their new normal. And it's probably more comfortable for them than the prospect of change.
You're right. They do remind me of some veterans back in Carnhaven.
Saw it 1,000 times over while working in Udea. Aurea may not want to hear it, but these people are completely lost in their crisis.
I spoke to Aurea earlier. She certainly does want to give the Eye the benefit of the doubt. I'm not so sure it's warranted.
Aurea has a case of hero worship when it comes to the Enclave. She can be blinded by it sometimes.
Huh.
It's not to say great things didn't happen here. But at the end of the day, the Hearthsiders aren't gods. They're fallible. Just like us.
This is true.
Bryn, I'm glad you're here. I need to talk to you.
Oh, jeez.
What's going on? You look pretty tired.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just... about those 90 Drake scales. I know Aurea said we don't need them, but she just doesn't understand. It's dangerous out here, you know? Especially now that these Surgeborn are loose. We need to be prepared for anything. It's just gnawing in the back of my head. Do you think you could do it?
I'm guessing Aurea doesn't know you want me to go Drake hunting. Do you really think it's a good idea for us to go behind her back?
It looks bad, but she just doesn't see what I'm seeing.
To be honest, I'm not sure I see it either.
Please, just trust me.
Seriously, when's the last time you slept?
Kashar don't need as much sleep as Ashar or Cassel.
But you need some sleep.
It's been a while, maybe 10 days, or a week. I'm fine.
You haven't told me why we need them, or better yet, why we need 90.
We want the best gear and weapons, don't we?
So Sola asked for these?
Not exactly. They have other uses too.
Kaz, you need to tell me what's really going on here. I want to help, but the Drake scales? The Weaver Band is okay. More than okay. We're in the best shape we've been in since we entered the Enclave, now that we've made contact with the Hearthsiders. Besides, the caravan is looking pretty full. It's not making sense.
You think I'm insane?
No, of course not.
Era's breath. I shouldn't have brought this up, but you just don't understand. Everyone could die if I don't... It would be my fault.
Whatever this is, please just tell me what's going on.
No. I shouldn't have burdened you. Sorry, just go.
But Kaz...
I can't talk about this anymore.
Casmin is not okay. And I don't think bringing her more stuff is the answer. I'd better talk to Aurea.
Ooh, more talking.
Kaz, you know you can talk to us about what's going on, right?
Nothing's going on. I'm fine, I promise.
You don't seem fine, though.
It's just... no one seems to understand how important the Ashpeak Drake skills are, and... bad things are going to happen if we don't... You know what? I just can't talk about this right now. I'm sorry.
Hey, Aurea. About Casmin.
I know. I'm worried too. So is the rest of the band. Let's talk at the archive, privately. I'll join you and Lane in a moment.
All right.
It's safe to say Casmin hasn't been acting like herself. She's always been tightly wound, but this is something else.
Bryn, she seems more open with you than most. Can you describe in detail what's abnormal about her behavior?
She's begging me for more supplies, even though the caravan is chock full.
Not that we could tell because she's covered it up.
More than that, she just seems distressed. She's always talking about worst-case scenarios, and lately it's like she's convinced we're all going to die.
I have heard rumors of abnormal behavior developing in Kashar that could be linked to this.
1 second.
What kind of rumors?
In polytheistic beliefs that are pervasive in the southern part of the Maida, there is an affliction known as Ira's Plague. The sufferer is haunted by twisted visions of death and pain. The goddess of justice, Ira, won't allow the sufferer inner peace until they repent through scrupulosity.
Scrupulosity? What is that exactly?
Oh, my apologies. I forget most people don't follow Judean eschatological study. Scrupulosity can be best described as a series of repetitive acts that one is compelled to do. For example, if Kasmin is plagued by relentless images of our band dying from exposure,
she might send our point out over and over again to retrieve supplies.
Yes, in order to dispel the horrific visions.
Kashar, what does Ira's plague have to do with them?
While most see Kashar as a celebrated merging of the two cultures, some fringe sects disagree. They believe the wider lineage simply leads to more ancestral sin that must be atoned. And thus, only Kashar can be afflicted.
Really? Where do you land?
The concept of impure lineage is clearly hogwash. But I suspect the affliction could somehow correlate to the Kashar's unique physiology.
I didn't realize Kasmin was spiritual. Is she really trying to hide these visions from us?
Though not devout herself, Kasmin grew up with a strict Ashar mother.
You're right, she did.
It's possible Kasmin's affliction was a point of shame or contention between them. Perhaps she fears rejection if she shares her experience with us.
Are you seriously suggesting Kasmin is... what? Possessed?
Of course not. I'm confident that this is merely a stigmatized phenomenon that could not be explained through facts or science. So the populace explained it through religious folly instead.
Any ideas what facts could explain it?
Not yet.
All right. Kasmin is suffering. We need to do something about it.
And preemptively? No exorcisms?
As I said, this is likely nothing more than a condition that has been stigmatized by religion. A scientific explanation must exist, and thankfully, we are in the heart of progressive thinking.
You think the Enclave could have done research on this?
Makes sense. Where should I start looking?
The steps in the upper city is where I'd start. Between the main building of the spire and the atrium used to stand a school for alchemists. From your explorations, the surge hit that area pretty hard, but some of the building may still be standing.
Great. What am I looking for?
Maybe the name of someone who suffered like Kasmin, or a healer who treated the condition. If you find someone like that, you'll want to search the areas of the city where they spent time. Ira's plague is wildly misunderstood across the Maida. If we could find a treatment, it could help more than Kasmin.
You're right. I'll start with the steps, then expand my search.
Okay. Okay. There's you, and I would love to do more, however.
That wasn't exactly the warmest welcome. I'm guessing the Enclave Council isn't your biggest fan right now.
What's not to like? So I let some nasty creatures loose. There's no bad impression my charms can't overcome.
And if they fail you now, there's a first for everything.
Then I'll roundhouse kick those Surgeborn back to the Underworks.
Whatever the Council thinks of you, I'm glad you're trying to help them. I think they could really use it.
Yeah, they don't seem to be in great shape.
Nothing our daring point can't fix.
And then, Sev and I realized we might be able to repurpose the Carapace for more than just loom gates. Purely theoretical right now, but I'm contemplating tangle-resistant gear, or even a protective layer around the caravan.
Dom, I'm a little busy trying to look over these Tarmakine schematics again. Do you mind coming back later?
Oh, okay. You're right. We can discuss theoretical magic anytime. I'll leave you to your work.
Oh. Hey, Bryn.
Everything all right? Things between you and Dom seem off lately.
Yeah, a bit. I'm not sure he understands what my work on the Tarmakine smithing techniques means to me.
Have you told him how you're feeling?
It feels like he's so wrapped up in his own discoveries that he's not hearing me.
He is easily distracted, but maybe you should try again. If there's one thing I know about Dom, it's that he loves you. He must care about your feelings.
Then why isn't he asking about them? Sorry, this isn't on you. I'm just frustrated. I need to do more than just tell him what Tarmakine means to me.
How so?
I need to show him. By investigating Tarmakine practices, maybe I can make some headway on restoring these techniques. Then he'll understand.
Hey, I'm always down to investigate lost knowledge. Especially in the name of love.
You'll help me?
Of course.
Amazing. I'll ask the Axel if she knows anything about Tarmakine smithing in the Enclave.
Great idea. I'll meet you at Cassidon's Hold.
Sev, how are you?
So, what were you speaking to the Eye about?
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't mean to pry. I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
You want to know if I'm okay?
Yes?
Then how come no one is at all concerned with the fact we can't leave? This isn't my life. Traveling with a Weaver band was supposed to be temporary. For me, at least. There are things I should get back to in Tarza. And it's increasingly clear no one has any idea when I will. If ever. So no. I'm not okay.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were feeling this way. You're right.
I am?
The truth is, we don't know how or when we're getting out of here. But if you want to leave, we should have made that more of a priority. Or at least made you feel more heard. So we'll work on it. Promise.
Really? What's the catch?
No catch. Apprentice or full-time weaver, what's important to you is important to all of us.
I don't know what to say. But thanks.
It might sound callous, but I'm a little disappointed in the Hearthsiders.
They're in worse shape than any of us expected.
They've done so little to repair the wonders that surround them. How can a society once renowned for its genius become so far removed from their own innovations? It makes me question if they were ever as great as we all believe they were, or if it was just...
Some myth to keep weavers going after the surge.
Exactly. Something for us to believe in, whether or not it was true.
The Hearthsiders are in shambles. But who wouldn't be after what they've been through? I still believe in the dream of the Enclave. If it takes us to restore it, I'm up for that challenge.
You're right. If it really was that at one time, it can become that again. I'm just not sure what to think anymore.
Bryn, I have to say, I'm a little concerned about you.
Me? Why's that?
I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into with the Enclave Council. You're not just helping them, you're diving headfirst into their political affairs.
Lane, if I can fight an Archon 10 times my size, I can handle a little bureaucracy.
That's exactly my point. I was raised in the midst of political schemes and intrigue. There's always something unsaid or underhanded at play beneath the surface. Just be careful. That's all.
You won't find Oria's father running amid statues, you know. What do you mean?
You know what's most likely to get in the way of tracking down one's lineage? Family. A scholar wants to trace a family line to find connections between key historical figures? No problem. A living relative wants to find their great-grandfather using some oh-so-precious family heirloom? What a headache.
Why?
A scholar is objective. They have no emotional attachment to the family line, no sense of self wrapped up in the results of their study.
And you're saying Oria does?
I'm saying she needs to expand her search beyond Weaver heroes. She's not searching for family there, she's seeking identity. And without objectivity, her search will turn up nothing.
We aren't all defined by who our family is. Oria is just exploring her past. Who says it has to be some big reflection on her sense of self?
It doesn't have to be. But I've done a lot of ancestry for people that come from families as successful as Oria's. If she isn't assigning some greater meaning to all this, she'll be the first I've encountered.
I'll keep that in mind.
Food for thought, at least.
Lord? Okay.
One of the greatest tragedies of the Surge is the loss of stories. The Enclave might not be that old, but with so many dead to the Surgeborn, their memories most certainly died with them.
I can understand that.
Oh?
My parents' generation tend to stay quiet around the fire. Whatever stories Khanhanders had were beaten out of us by public lashings and prison camps. And we haven't had time since independence to start telling new ones.
Ah, yes. Bryn of Carnhaven. I almost forgot.
Wait, like what Dom called me? You were listening?
I always am. Habit-born of a Udean upbringing, I suppose. But, yes. I suppose the similarities are there, aren't they? A population whittled down by catastrophe. Stories lost. Did you ever have the urge to press a little harder? To try and learn just one or two stories? Even if it was painful for the person telling them?
I would have liked to. It was hard, though. I learned more about our folklore through silence than through words. I was born after the fighting ended, but we still hadn't fully rebuilt by the time I left home. I found a couple of skeletons as a kid, out on the steppe. People who'd died fighting the war, exposed by the wind and the rain. There's a story behind those bones that will never be told.
I can only imagine how hard it must be to adapt to the new normal of no longer being under an empire's yoke. Even more so when you fought so hard to gain that independence. If we ever travel back to Carnhaven, I'll try and record some stories with your help, if you'd like. Sorry, is that too presumptuous of me?
No, of course not. You never know where the Weaver life might take us.
It's a date, then.
Eh. More talking?
I took a break from work earlier to watch you on the scry. The way you take down those giant beasts, it's breathtaking. Poetry in motion, even. If you weren't already journaling your exploits, I'd be dedicating page upon page to them.
I don't get to see myself from the outside very often.
Alas, if only I were an accomplished artist.
Too bad. I want to see what I look like when I'm exploring places that haven't been seen for decades.
Even without pictorial aids, you look brave, confident, powerful, ready for anything.
You had those adjectives ready to roll. Been watching me a lot.
Yes, it's what naturally came to mind, promise. Words are more my specialty, as I...
Okay. Do you believe that's almost everyone?
Aurea, I'm curious. Why the sudden interest in finding out more about your father?
He was trapped in the Enclave my entire life. This is the first chance I actually have to find out who he was.
Right. But I guess what I mean is, you really never tried to find out more from your mother.
I always had this sense that it wasn't something she could discuss. There was a heaviness in the air when his name came up. She was in love with him. And then she lost him in this cataclysmic event that no one could have predicted.
That must have been unimaginably painful.
Yes. She wasn't a tragic figure, though. She carried it well. You'd never know she was in pain. And truthfully, I had such a good life with my mother and my grandmother. It wasn't like I felt he was missing.
Until now.
Until we arrived here, yes. Something about this place just makes it clear how much I've lost because of the Surge.
Being here makes me wonder, if the Surge hadn't happened, would I have been forced to leave home to become a weaver?
Most certainly not. You would have been a valued member of society, not an outcast. Did you have a good relationship with your mother?
I love her, but we clashed a lot. She's afraid of magic, and weavers, and adventure, and leaving Calnhaven.
Basically, all the things even an Ashpeak Drake couldn't keep you from, let alone your own mother.
Pretty much.
My mother and I had our ups and downs throughout my life, too. As daughters get older, we understand our mothers better.
Any chance our mothers understand us better with age, too?
She'll come around to the weaving, if that's what you're worried about. She loves you, after all.
She does. I know that much.
And finally... Oh, we got talking. Gotta go with the talking.
Yes. I've always wanted my own ruined fountain. I don't want to presume, but being here is a nice break from all the politics.
And the Eye's okay with that?
I convinced him I would be keeping an eye on you. Frankly, I think he's just glad to be rid of me. I ask the kind of questions that make him uncomfortable. You know, tough ones like, how? And why exactly?
Lucky for you, Aurea loves when people ask those questions. Welcome to the camp, Eric. We're glad to have you, and your insight on the Hearthsiders.
You still call us that?
Yeah, but it's more... bitter these days. Surge and all. Maybe together we can fix that.
Let's.
How are you settling in, Eric? Things going well?
Good. Yeah, they're fine.
Just good?
No, not really. Something's going on at the hold, and it's making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. The Eye publicly scorched you for opening up Asylum, and yet I've heard him telling the Spindle that this could be a good thing. Meanwhile, the runners are stretched paper thin keeping supplies moving, which, of course, leaves my people no time to deal with actual threats.
Sounds like you could use some help. What's the problem?
Really? Dancing winds, where to start? No, wait, I know. The Spitfires. A particularly aggressive group seems set on spreading through Denevron. In particular, they're building nests in some areas I was hoping to use as training grounds, but we had to pull out due to the risk.
Would the areas be safe if I took care of the nests?
Yes, though the nests are very durable. They will turn brittle if you get them cold enough.
Consider it done. Anything else?
Maybe an odd request. Could you ask Aurea if I could power the scry while you're tackling them?
Why not ask her yourself?
I feel like I have a lot to learn from Aurea and how she works with you. And it's strangely intimidating to admit that to her directly.
She is a force of nature. I get it. I'll ask.
When's the last time anyone saw her sleep?
It's been weeks.
Is that normal for a Kashar?
No.
Thanks again for offering to talk to Aurea for me. It's genuinely exciting to learn from someone new for once. Our community's pretty insular.
Oh boy.
Hi, Aurea. I am here on behalf of Arakim.
That's weirdly formal. Everything all right?
He finds you intimidating. Personally, I don't see it, but I thought I'd be extra polite for his sake.
He does. Good. What does he want?
He's wondering if he could power the scry while I run an errand for him. He's hoping you'll give him tips.
Happily. But feel free to tell him I was a bit scary, to keep him on his toes.
Oh, these characters.
Good news. It was tough going, but I managed to convince Madame Silverbeak to take you under her wing.
Madame Silverbeak. Wins. I'll wear my good socks. I've coordinated lots of operations from Cassidon's hold, but I never had much formal training. More self-taught. A chance to learn from someone with decades of experience is an incredible opportunity. I'll be there with you then, when you get close to the nests. They're in the Bastion's yard and Envoy's Landing in Upper Denevron.
I've got quite a few quests to do in Upper Denevron. Okay. As much as I'd like... No, hold that thought. One more thing. We are going to craft one of these. Rake scale. Yeah, that should be fine. Fuck it. We don't need cold resist on a cold weapon, right?
Classic design here.
Frost sword and shield. Frost possibilities magic to quickly freeze the line of ice spikes to pin enemy foes down. Okay. I'm also very intrigued or interested in making one of these. Yep. And that way we need more resources. Okay. So now comes the sadness. Because that's where we are. Time for me to go. And for you to enjoy some corn. I'm gonna stop talking. Goodbye.